Who is your most difficult opponent to play against? For many people, it's players with long pips and anti that they struggle playing against. In this video today, we're going to talk about basic concepts of playing against long pips and anti. So there's two factors that we're going to talk about primarily. After watching this video and getting the basic concepts down, I recommend that you check out the next video, which is tactical considerations against long pips and anti. But make sure you get the basics down first, and then we'll go to the tactical side of it. So, two considerations is rotation and direction of travel. And before I start talking about long pips and anti, we're gonna talk just for a few minutes about normal inverted rubber, okay? So if you and I are warming up forehand to forehand, and we're both putting topspin on the ball, what happens? Does the rotation change? Does it stay the same? Does direction change or stay the same? Let's talk about you and I. Let's say you and I are warming up. You're over there on that side, and Samson is over here on this side, and you hit a topspin ball, and it's rotating this way, rotating this way, rotating this way. I hit a topspin ball, and my ball is rotating this way, rotating this way, rotating this way. So when you and I are warming up with normal inverted sticky rubber, forehand to forehand, the rotation is changing, direction of travel is changing to maintain topspin. If you don't understand that, make sure you rewind the video and just watch that section again. In order to maintain topspin forehand to forehand when you and I are warming up, the rotation changes, direction of travel changes to maintain topspin. So I hit topspin to you, you hit topspin to me. I hit topspin to you, you hit topspin to me. You got to get that basic concept down. Next, let's say you're playing against somebody with anti. Maybe they're using something like this, Nataku Best Anti, or Nataku Maristo Long Pips. Maybe they're using one of those. Here we go. You're over here on this side, and Mr. Anti is over here on this side. So your ball is rotating this way with a lot of topspin. The guy who hits it with the anti, he doesn't have any friction or any grab on the ball. So when he hits it back, the direction of travel changes to go back this direction, but the rotation maintains the same. We're still rotating this direction, this direction. So the rotation continues, the rotation continues, the rotation continues back to you as backspin, okay? So that's the main concept that you have to get, is understanding those two things, rotation and direction of travel. Now there's a lot of other considerations as far as how much grab they have on the pips, or how much sponge thickness they have, or do they have completely frictionless? Is there a little bit of friction? Or is there any tackiness at all to the anti? Or is it completely slick like a sheet of glass? So there's a lot of considerations to that. But the first thing, before I want you to start thinking about that, the first thing is your own quality. You see, I don't usually talk about long pips and anti and these principles to complete beginners. Why? Because their strokes aren't developed enough. So if you don't have a real push, a real chop, a real loop, a real smash, and everything is kind of just touching the ball back and forth, or maybe you have strokes but they're still developing and you don't have a consistent amount of spin, playing against long pips and anti is going to be really confusing. So what you need to be able to do first is generate real strokes, a real push, a real loop, a real push, a real loop. Once you are able to generate good topspin on the ball, and once you're able to generate good backspin on the ball, all the principles of this can be applied to tactical considerations. So if you're a complete beginner, I would say don't worry too much about this at this point. Focus with you and your coach on developing the strokes, developing how to put topspin on the ball, how to put backspin on the ball, how to serve with an even amount of spin so that you know how much spin that you're serving, how to be able to place the ball to where you want it. Once you get those basic concepts down, then go to these concepts of how to play, and then make sure you check out my next video, which is available on my website, samsondavina.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.